Hey guys, Alice here, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be telling you all about my big plan to move to South Korea to teach English. So I know this video is a bit different from what I've previously posted on my channel. I do really love singing and I plan to continue to post random covers every now and then, but I thought it would be helpful if I made a bit of a video series on the process for moving to South Korea to teach English. I've been planning on doing this for a while now, so I've been watching all the videos, following all the creators, and reading literally every blog in existence that people have made over the years about their experience applying to EPIK. I realized that most of the bigger creators who moved to Korea to teach have almost all either found other jobs or moved so long ago that some of their process is now outdated, or they don't even live in Korea anymore. So I thought that it may be helpful to record my process of applying to EPIK. I feel like some fairly major things have changed, especially with COVID-19 and all the shenanigans surrounding that with international travel. So I hope watching me go through the current process really helps. Just a disclaimer, I'm not a professional videographer by any means, and I have like iMovie level editing skills, so please don't judge my videos too much. I just hope these can be helpful. In this first video, I wanted to give sort of an overview of the process. Just a warning, this is going to be a very talking heavy series of videos, so in the description I'm going to put timestamps of the different sections of the videos. And also, as I post new videos in the series, I'll add links to those subsequent videos in the description of the previous videos. I am a huge planner and someone who organizes and reorganizes my thoughts 1,000 times. So I actually created a PowerPoint presentation for myself, and now I guess for anyone who watches this video, that basically goes over the overall timeline of applying to EPIK. It gives a total list of everything you need for the process, my own estimates for the cost of getting over there, and then how the application and interview process for Korvia, my recruiter, works, and how the application and interview process works for EPIK. I hope to make a video detailing each step of the process, and hopefully it'll turn into a whole series, but it's gonna take a few months for the whole series to be completed because I'm gonna be creating the videos as I actually experience the process. I know that won't be very helpful to people who are also applying for fall 2021 like me, but if you are applying at the same time as me and you have questions and happen to see any of my videos, feel free to comment anyways. I may have been through that experience already and just not posted the video about it yet. And if I haven't gone through that experience yet, then I'll at least know what other people are wondering so I can try and find the answers for the next video. So without further ado, let's look at the overall timeline process. So, like I said before, I'm applying to the English program in Korea, which is also called EPIK. If you're planning on applying to GOE or GEPIK, I'm really sorry, but I'm not familiar enough with the processes for those programs to be able to provide any advice or comparisons to these ones. Also, if you're interested in teaching at a private school, which is called a hagwon, I won't be able to help with that process in this series. So within EPIK, there are two general options for where you'll likely end up teaching, and they depend on your preference for location. If you apply for EPIK and specifically want to teach in Seoul within the city, you will apply to EPIK, and within that application apply to SMOE, which is the Seoul Metropolitan Office of Education. Basically, the only difference in the application and process for EPIK and SMOE is that there are some additional SMOE documents that you attach to your EPIK documents when you apply. So if you don't want to teach in Seoul and you want to teach in any other location in Korea, you will just apply to EPIK, and then in your application you can specify the city or province that you prefer to be located in. Since Seoul is my preferred location, this series will also include the process for the additional SMOE documents. If you don't want to do SMOE, then just ignore those parts and your process will probably be the same. If you're already feeling overwhelmed by the options, it's okay. One easy way to feel supported in the process and make sure you submit everything correctly is to use a recruiter. There are lots of these out there and they work directly with the Korean government, so it's super comforting. I'm using Korvia because I know someone else who used them, but there are lots of other recruiters such as Gone to Korea, Travel and Teach Recruiting, Korean Horizons, Reach to Teach, Green Heart Travel, Teach Away, and lots more. I'll link the recruiters that I mentioned in the description below so you can explore their websites. Some recruiters only recruit for specific locations or types of schools, like a private school or a public school, so make sure you give each of them a look and pick one that you believe matches your needs and wants. If you want to use a recruiter, that is. Just a note, for the EPIK process, you don't actually have to use a recruiter to get accepted. It's just something that can make your process go a little smoother and make sure you don't make any mistakes, that kind of thing. They can also provide helpful advice and guides in the process, so it might be beneficial if you're feeling overwhelmed. Let's take a look at the overall timeline for my EPIK process. This is a very basic overview, but when you break it down into sections like this, it isn't so bad. I will be creating a video in this series on every one of these steps in the process, and some steps might even need multiple videos, so don't worry, I'll go over all of these steps in detail. For this video, I'm just going to let you know around what time of the year each step will be happening, so try not to get overwhelmed if I mention documents that you haven't heard of yet or planned for at all. Just a disclaimer, I'm from the United States, so I can't speak for document processes like passports or visas, etc. in other countries, so please look those things up for your country. Of course, if you're using a different recruiter than me or no recruiter at all, then the first steps of your process timeline will look different. I'm not sure what the requirements are for other agencies, recruiting agencies, so you'll have to figure out what those are, but for Korvia, it's pretty simple. The second video in this series will be about the Korvia application and interview process, and will be coming out pretty soon because I've already applied and my interview with them is actually in 2 days from now. If you plan on using a recruiter, you should get together with them before the EPIK application opens. For fall start dates, that has typically been February 1st, and for spring start dates, that has typically been August 1st. This should give you some idea about what time of year you should start coordinating with your recruiter. The final video in this series will be a final overview and timeline with exact dates included of when I started and completed every single step of the process. So if it's like fall, winter 2021 when you're watching this video, go check out the final video for more exact dates of when I did every step of the process. So after getting with your recruiter in mid to late January for the fall start date, the application for EPIK will open. You should aim to apply for EPIK as soon as possible because the process is first come, first serve. I'm not sure how competitive it is right now because of COVID, but in the past it's been fairly competitive, so apply early. Look for the video in this series on the items that you'll need for your initial EPIK documents. Luckily, the initial documents don't include any documents that take a super long time to get, like a passport or background check. My recruiter Korvia requires a passport style photo in their application, so I already have that item before the EPIK application even opens. And other than that, the application should be fairly easy to complete as fast as you can write your essay and lesson plan. After completing your EPIK application and attaching your SMOE documents, if you're applying to SMOE as well, you'll be contacted by EPIK to set up an interview once they review your application. This interview could happen anywhere from about April to July per the EPIK website, but like I said, this is first come, first serve. Assuming you pass your interview, then you'll have to submit your final documents. You should submit these as close as humanly possible to your EPIK interview date, so don't be shy, try to get them all good to go before you even have your interview. Here are the documents you'll need to submit that may take longer than other documents, and when you should start the processes for them. You'll need a passport because you need to provide a photocopy of the information page in your passport. If you don't have a passport or need to get your passport renewed because it expired, or if your passport is going to expire while you're in Korea, you may have to wait up to 3 months to get a new passport. You should aim to have your passport before April for the fall start, so that you'll be ready to attach that photocopy to your final documents as soon as your EPIK interview ends, if your interview is as early as April. You'll also need an apostilled photocopy of your bachelor's diploma. If you're applying for fall start and you'll be graduating the spring just before that start, you obviously will not be able to obtain your diploma until about May. However, if you can obtain an intent to graduate letter from your school's registrar and apostille that, you should be fine. Please make sure you verify this with your recruiter or EPIK when you're applying, because the policy on this might change from when this video is recorded. Next, your national level criminal background check also will take really long, and it also needs to be apostilled. You will need to contact the police department or sheriff's department where you live to get your fingerprints taken so that you can request the national level background check. Once you request your background check, it will take 3 to 4 months to come back to you. Watch my video on the background check process to see how you can expedite that. However, you should still start the process for your background check in February just to be safe, even if you are doing the expedited route. You'll also need 2 sets of sealed official transcripts. Getting your transcripts really depends on how your individual school works, but you'll need to have them before the time for submitting final documents, so aim to have them before April. You should contact your references for your 2 letters of recommendation when you begin the process in February, because it may take them a while to write them, and they'll need to mail you the actual physical copy for that letter, so it might take longer than you expect. Once you submit your final documents, it's really just a waiting game. This is probably the most painful and nerve-wracking part of the whole process. But you'll know whether you've been offered a position in either June or July. And once you've been offered the position, you get to apply for your teaching visa. Watch my video on visas in Korea and the teaching visa process. You'll need to apply for your visa as soon as you know you've got a position. At this time, you should also be booking your one-way ticket to Korea and thinking about what you're gonna pack. The last steps will be for me to get my COVID test, get on a plane, and go quarantine and enjoy orientation in Korea. I know the process seems really long and complicated, but hopefully breaking it down into these videos and sections will make it seem a lot more manageable. I know I always feel better about something when I can understand it as much as possible, so I really hope that this video and all of the rest of this series help those like-minded folk of mine out there. Thanks for watching, and please leave any questions in the comments below. Visit this video's description to see all those juicy links that I mentioned, and please leave a like and subscribe so that you can catch the rest of this series. Thanks, guys.